Hello my little raindrops and welcome back to another video. I'm Ray and let's get right into it, shall we? Today's video is going to be about Five Nights at Freddy's, aka FNAF. And it's a game theory of mine that I would love to explore with you all today. To keep this video as easy and quick as possible to edit, I'm going to keep it short as well as showing no characters, as I'm on a new phone. I need to remake them all. But this theory will also include the book. So let's start this off strong by saying Evan, aka Cece, or Chris, or whatever you choose to call him, didn't see Elizabeth die, but Charlotte instead. Let me explain. In the book, we are ensured that Charlotte died in 83, the same year as Cece. Also in the book, we are told Charlotte sneaks off to go see Circus Baby while in her beginning stages of being made by Henry. Here's when it snapped into place for me. Charlotte most likely was having a sleepover with Cece and baby Elizabeth, and because of all the kids in the house, no one was paying attention to Charlotte and Cece ran off. In the book, we are told Henry created immortality by accident, as he built a replacement for his child so his son Sammy wouldn't grow up without his twin sister. As in the game, Cece has nightmare because of what happens to Charlotte, and Henry sues abandoned Circus Baby and what he was going to do with them. In the place, he starts a Freddy Fazbear TV show, so he can't have the time to remake his child without anybody knowing she's dead. But unknown to Henry, William finds out about the animatronic that he scrapped in the book, and we are told Charlotte's memories are attached to Circus Baby, but not to her soul, which is attached to her favorite doll. So while Henry is building his daughter, William continues to work on Baby, and Elizabeth soon noticed how much her father's project meant to him, and when he is told Elizabeth that she was made for her, she became obsessed with the animatronic. After Cece's death, we know William killed 6 kids, and Charlotte is weirdly enough one of them. Henry did remake her before William did his mass killing. But Charlotte never died. The doll from the book was inside of her, and Puppet took it. Well, got too close to it, and her soul was transferred, but still stuck inside the doll. To make this easier to understand, it's like Chucky. The soul can transfer as many times as possible, and they can make copies of themselves. Keep this in mind. Now to Elizabeth. As we know, she died going to see Baby, and it's still the same baby that killed Charlotte in 83. William just changed what she looked like, and then Elizabeth dies. Most of that was already known, but in the book we have a whole section where Springtrap and Elizabeth, aka Baby, interact with each other. This is not long after William dies, leaving Michael as the last living Afton. He ends up staying with Henry and grows up with the robotic Charlotte that Henry once again rebuilds after William kills her. But as Elizabeth and William interact after William has died, he soon finds out how to make an illusion disc and places it in Baby so she can get what he needs. But that backfired when Charlotte kills both her and Elizabeth, but Elizabeth's soul didn't leave. Instead, Circus Baby was just scrapped to make a new baby model, but the old model could still move and talk, but was instantly thrown into the trash, later to be found by a little girl named Sarah. Still having the illusion disc option in her file, they use it to become Sarah, giving Elizabeth a new life. Now you're most likely questioning why I said Elizabeth, but you know the new baby model was made from the old parts that still have Elizabeth attached to them. And our baby kills Michael to escape, but her memories are sent from the old model, so Elizabeth never was annoyed, just thought was. But there's still more. And the story takes a turn as I talk about Michael, who found the documents about rebuilding a robotic child like Charlotte. He ends up taking the documents with him to the Fantastic fire, as Michael realized the painted book about him and Henry after he rebuilt up Henry. Yes, Henry was a robot in the fire. After Charlotte killed herself and Elizabeth, Henry couldn't take it anymore and made a robot that killed himself. But that left Michael completely alone. Charlotte, Sammy, and Henry dead, and he couldn't do it alone, so he built up Henry. After doing so, he realized how wrong it was, so he burnt the info. You would think that was the end of it, and the adventure of the Pleasaplex are something completely different, but it's not. As Sarah, aka Elizabeth, eventually Sarah's body parts were found, and Elizabeth had no choice but to change, so she picked someone who had nothing left to care about, aka Vanessa. Vanessa was a perfect fit, as her life was perfect. She lived alone and had no contact with her family, so no one was going looking for her if she went missing. So Elizabeth, now known as Vanessa, quickly went down to the Fazbear Entertainment Agency to get a job to test games. Afterwards, she started looking up old pizzerias and found one Michael burned down, so Elizabeth suggested a new one be built on top of the old location. That way she can look for it far. But while searching the location, she found some burnt down documentation of a robotic child. After she handed over the document, they called her crazy and suggested before she started waiting to see a therapist. But the company decided to make a robotic child and place it in the basement of the pizzeria, as most of the documents were burnt and unreadable. The therapist starts going to the pizzeria to interview Elizabeth, but they end up bumping into a child that needs a therapy. And they only seem to find them at the pizzeria. This ends up leading to a security breach with Vanessa trying to kill Gadry, aka Elizabeth trying to kill Cece. The robotic documents were for a robot child, aka Cece. They were created by Michael before he had made Henry. After seeing the pain it caused both Henry and Charlie, decided it was best to get rid of them, but sad enough for him, he never truly got rid of them as Elizabeth found them. But Michael had a backup, one that would bring him back to life as well as Glamrock Freddy, as Elizabeth found an old memory trick of a robot, what Michael attached themselves to, knowing very well that he might need it to come back. But that's just a theory. A game theory! Are you trying to get yourself canceled? You can't use that, Ray. Ray, get some original content.
Come on, let's get going, you troublemaker.
See you later tonight, Tara. Date night. Keep in mind, it's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. I've always wanted to do that.